Welcome back to another busy vlog, y'all. This is gonna be a little bit of a different vlog, and where we're gonna focus and talk about manifestation, y'all. So join me for the month of June on manifestation, so we can explore positive changes, y'all. So for the month of June, we're gonna do a manifestation challenge, y'all. That's it. That's all. It's going to be a manifesting challenge, in which what I want you to do is every single time you have an idea, a thought, something you want to do, something you've been wanting to do, I want you to write it down in your phone, in your note section in your phone. Everyone has it. I want you to write it down. So if it come across your mind 5 times, I want to do a solo day, I want to do a solo day, it should sit in your note section. You should see it 5 times. Like, okay, girl, that's something you really need to tap into. Okay, the whole purpose of this, and where we're going to get into the purpose of manifestation and writing down things, we're going to get into that, is that I want you to see what you kind of like look over, because sometimes we as an adults, we are so busy on trying to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do, but we kind of forget about the things that we really want to do, and making it seem like it's not important because it's not paying the bills, or it sounds so outlandish. And I want you to think of it like this: when you was young, and you know how they say, you know, kids have such a big imagination. They push kids to have imagination. They push kids to dream. They push kids to actually go after their dreams and their thoughts and what they want to do. But when you become an adult, it kind of halts. Like, hey, you got these bills to pay, you got things to do, so you always got to do what you got to do to make sure you got a roof over your head. So all that extra imagination, and it's really not imagination, it's really you telling you what you want, what you desire, what you're looking for, but you're not paying no mind because you got all these other responsibilities that you really have to do before you can get to those things, if that makes sense. So our whole focus is to make sure that we still are paying our bills. Don't get me wrong, you got a roof over your head, you living your best life, but I want you to start incorporating more things and hitting more goals that you have for yourself by doing it inch by inch, little by little. Okay, y'all, we got to take this big mountain and we got to chop it down to small pieces. You get what I'm saying? So that's what the whole month of June is manifestation for. We're going to get into the positive and the things that you can get and gather from manifestations. We're going to get into that. But can y'all go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe? And if you are interested in joining this challenge, it's just going to be a little simple challenge, y'all. Just comment below, manifest. Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. We all have lives, but we're going to get more into what you're going to be doing. So every single week, I will be posting on Mondays an actual scripture or an affirmation, or both. You can read over or go over your notes and read the affirmation, or go over your notes and read the actual scripture, or do both. It's all on what you feel like doing. If you can find something that you like, an affirmation you really want to do and say over your stuff, you can do that as well. But I want y'all to be more intentional of actually pouring into yourselves, and actually be more intentional in speaking positive vibes towards what you want in life, you guys, because all that can happen. We sometimes, certain things got to be piece by piece. We can't get it all at one time. You know, we can't get it all at one time. We can't do it all at one time, and that's okay. But in reality, we can't keep neglecting ourselves, because then at the end of the day, you're gonna be feeling like your life is like, oh, I'm just here to work. I'm just here to work and pay bills, and that's not what it is. Life is meant to be lived and not feared. Okay, and we are in a state where a lot of people are fearing life, y'all. They are fearing life. Whatever that means, they're fearing life. They're just fearing life, y'all, and we have to stop that. So that's what it's all about, y'all. So let's get into the details of the whole thing and get more into manifestation, as well as what it can do and what it should be doing for you during this month challenge. Like I said, I'm going to say it again, it's only going to be weekly when I'm going to supply an actual scripture or affirmation, or both. But you can talk over your things more, read more affirmations, do daily affirmations, every other day affirmations, scripture reading. Like, you can do whatever you want to do, you feel like you want to do. But I want it to be where, you know, you write your stuff down, you give yourself a moment to just say, hey, you know, whatever the scripture is, whatever the affirmation is, you speak over it and you keep it moving. I want it to be small effort with big results. Meaning, like, you have very small efforts, as I mean, like, you just writing stuff in your notes and you're just doing an affirmation or reading over scripture, one of the two. But what you're gonna benefit from just those small steps every single week that you're gonna do is gonna be amazing. So those small steps is gonna add up. They're gonna add up, y'all. And I'm gonna show y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all why and how it's gonna add up and where it's gonna actually help you in achieving the goals and things that you want on your list, y'all. And let me tell you something. Manifestation sometimes don't happen overnight, y'all. So don't think I've been manifesting for the month of June and it's July wanting nothing to happen. Okay? That's not how it works. That's just that. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So that's why I tell people to write things down, because when you write things down and then when it comes to fruition, you like, yo, it's just amazing how people do the vision boards. The vision board is just manifestation, just in a illustration, like a visual way. It's like you really can see it with pictures and sayings and stuff like that, and it's really like more of a more glamorized way of manifesting your life. It's just on the vision board with colors and all these things. It's the same thing. It was just doing it in a simpler form and fashion, and something that you can have small efforts, but those small efforts add up to something really, really big for you. And I hope this is going to be a great month for you in the journey of manifestation. Let's get into the importance of writing down your goals and your ideas when it comes to manifestation. It's basically giving you a roadmap of your ideas and your goals that you want to actually accomplish. And let me tell you why. A lot of your goals and your ideas are going to have time. Like how long it's going to take for you to get there in many acts and steps. Some things are easier and some things takes a little bit more time. But if you're writing things down and you start figuring out, okay, I want to do a little solo date, I can plan that in the next 2 weeks. Oh, I really want to start a business, I can plan that in the next 6 months. It's actually giving you a roadmap of how you're going to actually hit and get to these goals, if that makes sense. So you can start prioritizing what you feel like will take the easiest way to accomplish and things that may take a little bit more time. So when you're doing that, you're not thinking that, oh my gosh, I'm actually doing what I want to do, my goals, my manifestations, because in reality, it comes from out of your head onto paper. And when you put it on paper, you start thinking about it a little bit more than average. Like, okay, I really want to go on a solo trip. Looking at your budget, I think I can go on a solo trip in like 8 months, maybe a year. Cool. You can plan it yourself. You can get you a dang on travel agent. And while you're doing that, your travel agent may say, hey, it's going to cost $1,500 for you to do a solo trip, including flight, hotel, and excursions. Bet you can divide that money up in like 6 months and say, hey, boom, boom, boom. You have now put in the steps and actually have a date and a trip planned. You get what I'm saying? Because certain things seem so like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they solo traveling by themselves. And honestly, it's really easy because I did it myself. And I will continue to do it. But what I'm going to say, I think people think it takes a lot to do certain things until they actually put in the effort and realize, oh, the most things is going to take the most when you're traveling. Honestly, for the people who want to do solo travel or who want to travel, is actually planning, like where you want to go, especially if you're doing it by yourself, you're not doing it by a travel agent. A travel agent is not that, hard to find these days. Find your travel agent, and whatever they give to you, like options, hotels, TikTok it. TikTok is going to show you everything you need to know about them hotels, baby. Trust me. TikTok is the new Google review, okay? And then boom, budget it out, plan it out, boom, bam, boom. You already have that done. That's one goal off your list that might took you maybe an hour or two. And I'm saying an hour because you got to do research on your hotels. You got to have conversations with your travel agent so they can figure out where you're trying to go and what you need, stuff like that. So just remember, a lot of things you think takes a lot of effort or a lot of time, sometimes it does not. You just got to just sit down and just plan it out. And the plan out part will actually give you the total idea of estimated of how long something can actually take, or how long it's going to take you to finish that goal or to get to that goal, if that makes sense. Also, while you're writing down these things, this is actually going to give you a visual, physical representation of your ideas and goals, okay? Because sometimes when we just in our head, it get lost. We got so many things we think about, we're trying to do, it get lost in the sauce. It just get lost in the sauce. And when you write it down, Ain't nothing like something right in front of your face. You know how when people be talking, or you be reading the room, you read things on the wall, you read things off people's phone. That's how it is. You have your list in your phone, or if you write it down, it's like more of a reminder. Hey, this is something you want to do. Hey, you already put in the first step of writing it down. Let's finish it out, you guys. So it's actually helping you roadmap it. It's actually helping you be more confident in saying, hey, this is actually can get done, because you took your first step. You know what I mean? You wrote it down. You thought about it. You prayed over it. You did affirmations. And when I tell you, when you start doing things are going to hit you differently. Like, you're going to feel like, yeah, I really just need to just do what I said I was going to do. Ain't nothing like watching somebody else living a life that you want for yourself. Let me say that for the people in the back. It's nothing like watching somebody else living a life that you want, but they put in the effort and you didn't. Okay? They put in the effort, you didn't. They took in the small pieces. They sat down. They gave themselves 10 or 20 minutes a week or 30 minutes a week to do research and do what they need to do. They put in the effort and you didn't. They wrote it down and you didn't. But now you did. So guess what we're going to do? You're going to go ahead. You're going to write it down. And we're going to go start implementing this thing. Because, baby, we are no longer, and this is another thing, I don't want y'all going comparing yourselves. Everything happens for a reason in a season. Okay? And I had so many things happen to me. Things happen for a reason in a season. A reason in a season. Okay? And sometimes you may not be mature enough to be in a certain area or to do certain things or to get certain things, and you don't realize until you get there and realize, I probably really wasn't ready for that back then, but I'm ready for it now, and it's happened to you. So you're able to embrace it. You're able to love on it. You're able to accept it. You're able to, pour into it. And then maybe a couple of years ago, maybe you just had too much going on. Maybe you couldn't barely pour into yourself, let alone try to start a business, let alone be a travel agent, let alone book trips, let alone just making sure you take care of yourself more. You was really out here just running yourself thin. Now you're like, it's important. I need to do it. Alright, you guys, so whenever you are writing down these goals and ideas and things of that nature, your affirmations is just going to help align and bring positive thoughts and positive energy towards these goals, okay? It's just going to give you a greater insight, as in, like, there's no negativity around it. There's no clouds. It's just a positive vibe. So if you speak positive things, it's going to attach onto those things, because that's what you're doing. You're speaking over the things that you actually wrote down, and it's going to be positive vibes. And remember, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. And everything will have different levels of time frame in which you think you're going to be able to accomplish it. Also, I want you to understand, just because you say, oh, in a year I'm gonna start a business, and it don't happen in a year, doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. Things happen. You got to give yourself grace, but in reality, you also have to be accountable for the things that you do and don't do. So in reality is, you say I'm gonna start my business in a year, but you don't look into nothing. You don't do your paperwork. You don't go to free webinars and networking to get the access easier, to get the information easier. You don't go online. You don't ask your friend that's a business partner, hey, how do I get a business license? Can you maybe mentor me? You don't do what you're supposed to do, but you didn't set a goal. So just FYI, life and things do happen. Don't beat yourself over if everything on your manifestation list does not happen. But I want you to understand, if you want to make sure you do get things off of that list to be manifested. You know what I mean? So if you know you can't really say, I can't do no long-term goals, but you still write them down. Hey, next year, we hitting them. This year, I know I can do this, and this. That's fine. Work on those things. And then when the new year come, set a new mindset, positive vibes, and you're going to work on those long-term things. But just remind yourself that at the end of the day, everything works out and you're good. And nothing that's for you will go past you. No door will stay closed unless it's open. Okay? All right now. Then I mean by that, no door. No, if the door is shut, you can't get in. But if you going past the door and the door's open, you can walk in. And then at the end of the day, sometimes things happen that you don't know why it happened. And in the midst of that, you're going to feel not as good. Self-confidence might be low. You may be doubting yourself. But let me tell you, it's always a season and a reason for everything. And I'm learning that you have to go with the punches. You have to roll with it, but also stop taking everything so personal, because a lot of things, honestly, is really not personal. It's business. And it's maybe somebody who may not like you, or somebody that's hating. Certain things is really not on who you are and what you bring to the table. It's not. It's really not. It's people be bringing their egos and their pride to things that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. So, and I'm saying this because I don't want y'all to go into this feeling like a failure if something doesn't manifest in the way you want to manifest and how you want to manifest. And prime example, I'm gonna tell y'all. So I started a business with one of my partners, one of my friends, and we have a business. When we first started, we want to do this, we want to do this, we want to do this. We wanted to really incorporate like doing whiskey tasting with cigars, okay, at cigar lounges. Kind of find out, long story, short story, you really need a nonprofit. Because unless the place has already have a liquor license, you need a nonprofit in order to have alcohol. That's the way you have to do. So we had to literally create a nonprofit, which took a whole year. We had to create a nonprofit to be able to do the event. It took a year, like a year and a half, to be able to get all that stuff together and get to an establishment that will allow us to do it and throw the event. And it was a sold out event. It was a sold out event. So that's what I mean by, I'm telling y'all, some things may not start off the way you want, but if you keep working on it, it will happen. Small pieces. So we had to say, hey, look, we trying to really do this. Let's create a nonprofit. Let's get our guns in the road, everything, find a place. It was excellent. And now this year we're going to do an even bigger event. But at the end of the day, we never had that event that was successful. When I say it was successful, y'all, we had like, it wasn't supposed to be like 30 people, girl. We had like 60 people up in there. Up in there, we had like 60 people. So let me tell you this right now. Just understand, it can happen. We went from feeling like we ain't gonna never be able to get it done. Everything we trying to do, keep knocking down. Oh no, you need to have this. Oh, you gotta have this. Like, it's so many roadblocks behind it. When the Lord opened that door, he opened it wide open. We walk right in. And that's what I mean by, if it's for you, the door will be open. If it's not, it's gonna be closed. Okay? The Lord gonna close it, okay? So that's what I mean by, and I want to tell y'all that because I feel like that's a testimony. Like, it's really a testimony. Y'all don't understand what we had to go through to get what we had to get to, but I'm telling y'all, it's a testimony. It's a testimony. And I'm telling y'all because I don't want y'all to feel like everything's going to happen so fast. It may not, but when it does happen, you're going to feel so fulfilled when it happens. All right, y'all. So like I said before, if you're interested, below, put manifest. Put manifest. Every single week on Mondays, I will be uploading a quick little video going over a scripture and an affirmation. Okay? Every single day, if you have something come in your mind for the month of June, I want you to write it down in your note section, an idea, a goal, etc., 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 etc. Write it down. And every week we're going to, you can read an affirmation. You do your own affirmations. You can do your own scriptures, or you can do the ones that I post. I'm only going to do one once a week. That's it. That's all. It's going to be a quick little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 video. And honestly, I really don't want y'all to be like, feel like you got to share anything in the comments, but positive vibes or affirmations or scriptures that you found. You don't have to tell nobody what you're doing. That's not important. What you writing down, that's not important. I mean, not what you're doing, but what you're writing down, that's not important to me. You know what I mean? What you're doing, what's important that you know what you write down, because I want it to be something sacred for you, and I don't want nobody to go against what you're trying to do, because people will literally pray against you and say bad things against you because they didn't want you to actually flourish, and I don't want that. I want you to feel confident. I want you to feel confident. I want only positive vibes when it comes to this manifestation journey, because that's it. Because people do be hating, and we ain't got no haters right here. So just type below manifest, and I'm gonna see y'all starting the new week of June. Cause bang bang, we ain't playing no games. Manifest June is on its way.